Good evening, everybody. Welcome to our regular Tuesday evening slot. I know people are still joining in over here, but we're going to go ahead regardless. And there will be recording available afterwards for those who want it. And please feel free to share the recording to whoever would like it and whoever will benefit from it. The information I'm using tonight has been borrowed from a university, but I found it was quite a good presentation and they are getting credit for it, not me. I'm just the mouthpiece tonight. So let me share my screen and get running. Okay, let's just mute over there. Okay. Is my presentation not showing tonight? Pardon me, I'm just having a little bit of an issue. Sorry, my computer's decided to give me a little bit of grief over here. I shall resume shortly.
Would you like us to leave and come back in 5 minutes?
I think that might be a good idea because it looks like I'm having an issue over here.
Okay.
Hang on.
Okay.
Let us do this. Okay, sorry, let me just find my talk again quickly. I'm going to... we don't like technical issues when this happens, but we will find it. Okay. Take 2. Let me share my screen and run my presentation. And hopefully it will behave itself this time. Slideshow from beginning and get me out of the way. All right, as I said, this is a talk that was done by the University of Arkansas and the Division of Agriculture. And we are cleaning ourselves to death these days because there's a lot of toxins and things out there. And everybody wants a clean home, and it became very common over the last couple of years where everybody was suddenly paranoid about cleanliness. I found it quite amusing because it almost felt as though nobody was interested in cleaning beforehand when everybody is suddenly paranoid about washing hands and sterilizing everything that they touched and breathed and all the rest of it. But we hopefully now gotten back to a sense of normality, but we still need to be aware of the toxins in our homes. So a clean house is a pleasant house. It looks better, it smells better. But the appropriate cleaning supplies are important because there's so many toxins out there. Homemade cleaning products or correctly designed biodegradable products are non-toxic to you and the earth. Now, I feel that any of us who live near nature specifically need to be very much aware of the type of cleaning products that we're using. Where I live, it's very close to a river and obviously very close to the sea. And I want to have as few toxins in my environment as possible because we've got a fair amount of wildlife in the garden. There's a lot of bird life, and a lot of these toxins are lethal to them as well as to us. So these eco-friendly products are also less expensive. I think most of us on this talk are probably relatively unaware of how much cleaning products actually cost, or specifically the commercial ones, because hopefully we are all using our own eco-friendly ones. And I don't even know, when I look at the price comparison, it's quite scary when I see what some of these things cost compared to what we are using. So something to think about. Chemicals have replaced bacteria and viruses as the main threat to health. The diseases we are beginning to see as the major causes of death in the latter part of the 1900s and into the 21st century are diseases of chemical origin. And that is according to Dr. Dick Irwin, who is a toxicologist at the Texas A&M University. And I'm sure if Dr. Arthur First is still around, he would have even more scary information for us. But who needs these products? Does everybody, or should everybody, be using the alternative products? Or should they be quite happy to use the, in my opinion, more dangerous products? So people specifically who have chemical sensitivities, friends and family, they have asthma and allergies, they are raising children or are pregnant, they want to live a healthier lifestyle, and they care about the environment. And possibly as a side note, they want to save some money. These are the people that are needing to understand what this presentation is and are needing to look at alternative types of cleaning products. And this is the reason that I started in our business. You've probably all heard my story, but I grew up on these products. I grew up on our non-toxic cleaning products. And when our kids were very small, I did not want toxins in the house because I knew how good the products were because I'd grown up on Super 10 and LDC, and I didn't want any of those harsh chemicals in the house when the kids were babies. And that was the main reason I started the business. Not to do the business, but simply to get hold of the cleaning products easily and cheaply. And it's worked really well since then. So what is the problem with commercial cleaning products? Now, there are many cleaning products on the market. The question is, are they all safe to use just because they're on the shelf? Have you read the labels? We've covered over the last few weeks how to read labels. Yes, it was more specifically on supplements and medication and food, but we also need to learn to read the labels on cleaning products because many products are hazardous. The ingredients can be corrosive, they can be flammable, they can be toxic. And this means it can impact our health and our environment. Now, as you know, I work in the medical field and I am in casualty on a regular basis. And when I check through the books, it's quite scary to see how often people come in for injury on duty who have been exposed to chemicals, children that have been exposed to chemicals. I saw a couple of cases where children had accidentally gotten hold of hand sanitizer and drank it, and they had to be rushed into casualty. So these sort of things are extremely dangerous to our health and to our environment. So the sources of this information are the Environmental Health Association from Nova Scotia, the EPA, which is the Environmental Protection Agency, and the Consumer Product Safety Commission. So this is not just thumbsuck, this is viable sources. So did you know that it takes 26 seconds for chemicals to show up in our organs? Remember, our skin is an organ, and we'll get into that at a later stage, but these chemicals go in through our lungs and penetrate through our skins and get into the organs extremely quickly. There are 17,000 petrochemicals available for home use only, and only 30% of these have been tested for human safety. Now, the even more scary part is 30% of the 17,000 have been tested as individual products, Now, a lot of these things, when you look at the commercial products out there, don't have a single chemical in them. They're a mixture of a whole lot of different chemicals. So they may have tested some of the individual ingredients, but have they tested what happens when you mix them together? Because, for instance, you can take hydrogen on its own, and you can take oxygen on its own, but when you mix the two correctly, you get water. If you mix it further, you get hydrogen peroxide, which I wouldn't be drinking that. But the same two chemicals started it off, was hydrogen and oxygen. It all depends on how you mix the chemicals as to how safe they are. Of chemicals that are found in homes, 150 are linked to birth defects, allergies, cancer, or psychological abnormalities. Now, there's a scary thought. You thought that cleaning your house was enough to make you crazy? Well, now you can see it actually does, or can do, make you crazy in more ways than one. There are more than 75,000 licensed chemicals for commercial use. So 17,000 are available for home use. 75,000 are licensed for commercial use. Now, the more scary part is that when it's commercial use, we don't know about it. We don't know where it is, but it's all around us. Because if you go into a shopping center, they're not using home chemicals. They're using commercial grade, heavy duty chemicals. Factories where our food and other things are manufactured are using commercial grade chemicals. So we're being exposed whether we like it or not. Very few of these chemicals were in our bodies or environment 75 years ago. So those of you who are in that age category, very few of us are now because we're all young on this talk, but think back to when you were growing up. How many of these strange chemicals were available in your house? What did your parents use to clean your home? So sometimes it feels as if we need a face mask when we clean. We all got used to face masks over the last couple of years for other reasons, but you go and clean your oven, for instance, and suddenly you have to dress up in your hazmat material as well, because there's problems because of all the risks involved. So the fumes contaminate our air. And these can be irritating to eyes, lungs, and skin. And many chemicals are carcinogens or cancer-causing. They are hormone disruptors. Dr. Cesar Nambasi has spoken about this on more than one occasion. They contain reproductive toxins. So for young moms or young moms to be careful because it can cause problems to your baby. Regulation and legislation is a very slow process. And sadly enough, in a lot of cases, is controlled and directed by finance. Whether it's legal or illegal, things can get sped up or slowed down, and regulations can get changed accordingly. Now, these chemicals also pollute our environment, and hazardous products pollute our earth in more ways than one and can get into our drinking water. As I said, I live close to a river. Now, think of people more inland, where those rivers are coming from inland down to the sea. There's a lot of people between, let's say, Kokstad, for instance, and Shelley Beach. But the water slowly but surely makes its way down from the hills up there, straight down to this area. What is going into that water before it gets to us? And when we're talking about environment, we're talking about soil. We're talking about septic systems. I don't know about you, but at our house, we are not connected to any municipal sewerage works. We have a septic tank in our backyard. And I think a lot of these septic systems, if they're not treated correctly, or if they have harsh chemicals put into them, can, a lot of these chemicals are there to kill bacteria. Well, your septic tank works on bacteria. And because they're so effective at killing bacteria, it kills off the good bacteria in the septic tank system as well, which then relates in problems. So it filters through the earth and it gets into groundwater. It also can float on surface water. Think of areas, flying into Joburg a couple of months ago. You're flying over a lot of quite big dams and things over there as well. Now, your jet is releasing avgas fumes. And as we know, gravity works. So all those fumes come out of the jet engines and it filters down and floats down into the air and settles on the water. And it pollutes fish and other animals. There was a newspaper article not that long ago that I saw that from Cape Town, I think it was, that said, please do not fish in Hout Bay Harbour. And if you do, do not eat the fish in the harbors because of the pollution. I think Durban has a similar problem. There's so much pollution in the harbors that if you catch the fish there, those fish are in fact toxic. So don't eat them. So now we need to learn to read labels. And the first thing that we look at is a little word called caution. And this means that hazardous chemicals are present. They are a moderate hazard, so you need to reduce your use. The next one is a warning that hazardous chemicals are present, moderate hazard, stronger than caution, so you need to drastically reduce your use. And then the next one is poison. This product is highly toxic. Don't use it. Don't keep it under your kitchen sink. Don't keep it within toddler reach in your garage. Preferably, don't have it in your house. Then there's the next one, which is danger. And the ingredients present are corrosive, flammable, and or highly toxic. Don't use it unless you have the correct hazmat gear on. I would not touch it. Now, we think about those things in factories and, as I said, commercial areas. But think about what you're using in your home. What's in your cleaning bucket that you carry around your house? And why do we use them? Now, you don't have to spend a lot of effort and money on cleaning products. The problem is knowledge, or actually lack thereof. Because it's very easy to pop down to the local shopping center and you go along and you walk down the shelf. And as I've said before, when I walk down those aisles, I generally try and hold my breath because of the fumes, because I'm not used to them. And you pick up a towel cleaner and a window cleaner and a floor cleaner and a bath cleaner and a toilet cleaner and a dish cleaner and a dishwasher cleaner. Are you reading the labels when you purchase those products? And specifically things that are coming in touch with the things that we are dealing with on a daily basis, like your cutlery, your crockery. If it says poison on there, what's happening? It's going into those things that we're going to be using and touching later on. So we need to be aware, and we need to educate people, give them the knowledge of what to look for to protect themselves. But part of the problem is, as I said, people don't have time. How often do you stand in the aisle of the shopping center and read the label on the cleaning products, on the food, on whatever it is that you've picked up? Everything has to have a label on it. Have you read those labels? Sometimes we've got this heavy stain and we want to clean it up fast. So we go along and we get the most potent product that we can find because it'll clean it up pretty fast. Unfortunately, it also comes with a negative side, because with these strong formulations, it's convenient. It's ready made and available, so we don't have to decant a bit of this and mix a bit of that and measure up how much we're using. We just grab it, open it, and use it. But that's where the problem comes about. And then there's the belief factor. Have you ever met anybody who believes that unless there's copious amounts of foam in the washing machine, your clothes aren't getting clean? Or unless there's copious amounts of foam in your dishwasher or your kitchen sink, you're not getting clean. It's not the foam that's making things clean. And then there's also the natural products, and people just don't believe that it will actually be clean, despite the fact that our grandparents and great-grandparents used to use these same products. So here's your thought for the day. The secret formulas in chemical cleaners are just the ingredients that was used in old folk recipes, except that they're artificial. It's not what our ancestors used to use. How is acid in a lemon different than artificial acid? Except it doesn't have the health hazards. Part of the thing is that in nature looks at all the toxins and it looks to balance out the use of all these goodies. When man comes along, he wants to make things as strong as possible, so he doesn't dampen that effect. So there are greener products out there. And as we know, our company has been green long before green was ever a term and was ever a thing. Now it's becoming a thing because, fortunately, people are becoming a lot more aware that the cancers and the asthmas and things could very well be related to our environment. And they're starting to question this and become more aware. And this is where we kick in to educate people. So the big question is, are green products worth it? You know, can you actually get your house clean with something that is non-toxic? So what are the pros and cons? So the pros are that obviously they are safer for humans and environment, because hopefully not only are they non-toxic, but also biodegradable. They should certainly be less irritating. They should be biodegradable. And you should have a reduced use of energy or resources. Now, the cons, on the other hand, some of them are expensive. From that perspective, we need to be able to work on what is expensive, because some people's ideas of expensive differ quite considerably to other people. So we need to, if somebody says, oh, but it's so expensive, compared to what? This is where price comparisons come in. In a lot of these commercial green products, there is no standard definition. So they could use 3 millimeters of this and 5 mils of that and 10 mils of something else together with a liter of water. And some will use 4 and 6 and 7, and it varies. So there's no real standard definition. And it's not guaranteed to be safe, but they are safer than conventional products. Because remember, some natural products can still be toxic. And green products are not required by law to list all the ingredients. So labeling laws, or in both nutrition and our so-called green products, don't require anybody to actually put all the ingredients in there. So they can put on 2 ingredients and skip half a dozen others that might be in there that could be causing a problem. And we need to be aware of greenwashing. Like brainwashing? Well, they can do a bit of greenwashing on you too, because people want the word green. It's like the word natural, and it's like the word organic. They're wonderful words, but what is the true definition, and what is the actual requirement for a product to carry that label? So we need to be careful of product labels with words such as biodegradable, green, eco-friendly, botanical. Hazardous ingredients can still be in the product. So we need to be careful of vague labels that it's eco-friendly, it's biodegradable, it's a green product. But what's actually in there? because some of them tell lies. Some of them might be missing out on telling us what's in there. Some of them just use a different name, as we discovered recently, that certain ingredients can be used under different terms to make them look less of a problem. Natural doesn't mean non-toxic. Just means that it's the lesser of two evils. Sometimes it's irrelevant. So what can we do as consumers? We need to read labels. Be aware. If you don't understand the word, Google should generally be very handy. And if you don't have Google handy on your phone in the shop, write down the name, go and research it afterwards. When you research the individual chemicals in products, it can be quite scary. And next time that you're getting bored and looking for something to do this exercise and go and have a look and see what some of these labels are. So the easiest way to know whether a product is green is to look for a third-party seal. We all know about third-party seals. Seals like this, which is designed for the environment, designed for the environment. It's the US EPA. You may see some of these labels on the green products. Now remember, these are international. This is an international presentation, so we don't always see these specific labels, but we need to look for similar sorts of labels. What does this mean? The EPA evaluated the products for human and environmental impact. EPA is the Environmental Protection Association. It does not mean the ingredients are safe, but they are less harmful than conventional products in its class. So probably won't kill you, but it could make you pretty close to death. And there are no standards. Other labels to look for are things like Ecologo, Green Seal, or CFPA. They are standardized and third party. Now, what are some of the lies? Some of them might need research. Some companies lie about the greenness of their products because obviously they want to sell. We need to check out the reputation of the company. We know we need to do this for supplement companies as well. So we need to do it with our cleaning products as well. And there could be vague claims. Fact, products do not need to have ingredients listed. The more information disclosed on the product, the better. Sometimes there is not enough space. So then we need to look for the company's contact information, their website, their phone numbers, where you can contact them for more information. If it's not there, be suspicious. So some of the buzzwords that we know of can also be rather vague. Biodegradable, all natural, 100% vegan, eco-safe. Don't get swayed by these buzzwords. There should be explanations. Remember, arsenic and lead are all natural, but they're also very toxic substances. Some of the claims are irrelevant. So you often see these things that says no CFCs. No CFCs is a very popular claim. It stands for chlorofluorocarbons. Now, CFCs deplete the ozone and are highly toxic to the environment. CFCs have been banned for a very long time. So finding this on a label actually means nothing because it's irrelevant. So the lesser of the two evils. We need to overlook specific claims and look at the big picture. For example, are you purchasing organic tobacco? Great, except smoking isn't good for you, regardless of whether it's organic or not. Another example, chlorinated products with natural essential oils. Well, what's in there? When a company does one thing green, but leaves a larger environmental impact in other ways, in other words, its production of the product and putting it in non-biodegradable containers, etc., is a problem. So natural doesn't mean non-toxic, and non-toxic doesn't mean natural. Things like D-limonene. It's a natural ingredient which is found in orange peels. It's a powerful solvent, and it can cause severe reactions in some people. Arsenic is another one. It's natural. It's a powerful toxin and endocrine disruptor. Breathing it in can cause nausea, vomiting, gastrointestinal distress, decreased blood cell productions, blood vessel damage, etc. And it is commonly found in pressure-treated wood. So I'm going to stop right there for now because we are running out of time. Oops, seem to have run out of people as well. If anybody has got any questions who's still on here, please feel free to ask. Not, I'm going to stop recording.